So I just wanted to come through because I've been holding on to some stories that I was meaning to tell you guys. Didn't know if I wanted to just write it in a book or if I wanted to just upload it here. But I decided that I'm just going to upload it here. And when the time comes, I will write my story. This is another testimony of how God has been protecting me on this mission that He sent me here to do. So one day, well, okay, so there was a guy that I was talking to, and some would say that this person is a karmic. But as I said before in videos, I am just learning about what a karmic person is and, divine masculines and things like that. So I was told by this guy that I met at a place that I was volunteering at. It's called Shiloh Career Development Center. And I was volunteering there. And this guy was a web designer there, and he was teaching classes there. So me and him got to talking, and after a while it came up that he was spiritually gifted too. And he had warned me about this guy that was going to be coming into my life. And at the time I was already talking to someone, so I was like, well, I don't have to worry about that person, because I'm already talking to somebody. And I thought that was a growing, And so he told me that this guy is a shapeshifter. And he said that the guy was going to try to use love against me because the devil sees, the enemy sees the negative energies. They see that I'm a really loving person. I'm very loyal. And so if I was to fall in love with somebody that was pretending to be, a stand-up guy, that the enemy can take me out easier because I would be trusting this person. Fast forward to 2 years ago, because that was like 2016. So 2 years ago, 2019, I was still talking to the boy, the dude that I was already dating, and the other dude had, just randomly hit me up. So I was like, oh, hey, what's up? He was like, can he see me or whatever? So I told him where I lived at, and we chilled and shit. We talked for a minute. Now, what his intentions was, I don't know, but he told me that he spoke to the guy. How did he speak to him? I don't know. But spiritually, I guess, they ran across each other. And he was like, the dude is like a pimp because he got a lot of females around him. And he's, dealing with a lot of females. And so I was like, I'm just thinking, like, who could this be? I'm telling him, like, I don't know who you're talking about, So, the dude, I was like, well, I've been talking to this dude, for, these last, so I met him in 2013. And so we had been on and off for that whole time up to just 2020. So I was like, the only person I've been talking to is this person. When you told me that, I had already been talking to him because I met the dude at the CDC. I met him in 2016. So we had already been talking for 3 years, so I did not think it was him. It turns out it is him, and I'm going to tell you how I know it was him. But let me tell you what that dude who came that day told me. He told me that he came to see me because he wanted to ask me to marry him. And I was like, oh, wow. I was a little bit nervous because he had, like, during that whole, I think he was there for like 2 hours. He was telling me how he hugged his daughter and sucked the life out of her and was able to bring her back. So that was a little bit, scary for me. I don't, want to. I was basically like looking at him like, yo, I don't know if this man is mentally ill or if he got some type of spirit in him that is not good for nobody. And he also had told me about how his first baby mother, I think he got like 6 daughters or something right now. But he said his first baby mother reported him for child molestation. And so all of these things is coming out, and then he asked me to marry him. Talking about he came here to ask me to marry him. So I could feel energetically that he was not trying to hear no. So I'm like, oh, wow, that is so nice. Wow. So how do we get started? Like, I got to play this off because this man is at my house. Like, the fuck? So I'm like, wow, how do we, I'm glad that you told me about old boy or whatever. Thank you so much. You always been like, a good friend and stuff. And I'm like, so how do we do this? Like, do you buy a ring? Like, cause I'm confused. Like, what did you think was gonna happen when you came here? And so he was like, well, there is no ring. We just agree under God. I was like, definitely not my type. First of all, you're not my type. Second of all, I don't know where you thought who do you think you're talking to? You must think I'm a fool. Because that's just not even my type of deal. I am God's daughter. Do you understand that? Highly favored, high honor. You think you're going to get away with asking me to marry you and I'm going to just go? No, let me tell you what he said. So he goes, so we just agree unto God. And he brought this boy with him. Matter of fact, that was a twister right there because this nigga wanted to tell me how he could see my aura and it's changing colors and, trying to say I'm uncomfortable and like trying to say, basically he was saying that I was angry, but I really wasn't. I'm like, the only thing I am is confused for real. And I don't think there's a color aura for confusion. Okay? So, yeah, that dude was irking me a little bit with all of his little talks. He swear he just so magical or whatever. And then the dude that tried to ask to marry me, he think he just so, he talking about he is God in the flesh. It was just really weird. Like when I met him in 2016, he wasn't like this. I don't know what he done went through, but I guess because we was like basically working together, it was like I wasn't going to get to know the whole truth about this man, but I figured it all out when he tried to propose to me or whatever, fake propose. I don't know what that was, but yeah. So he says, he was like, yeah. So we just agree under God, and then we consummate or something like that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm about to sit here and play dumb for real. I want to know. I'm like just trying to drag it out because I really want to know what his aim is. Like, what is you here for? And then it started to like look like he just wanted me to lead a dude that I've been talking to the whole time for him. And so he was like, yeah, we go upstairs and we have sex and you have my baby. What? I'm looking at this man like, yo. I started laughing. I'm like, yo, now you really playing with me. I said, you thought you was gonna come in here and ask me to marry you and I was gonna go upstairs and have sex with you, unprotected, and have your kids. Okay. Yeah, this not gonna happen. He's like, I love you so much, just kept saying how deeply he loved me. But his energy, it was like he was trying to cloak how angry he was and embarrassed he was in front of the boy. Because for some reason, they thought that the boy thought he was going to be a witness to me falling for that shit. And that's what he called him. The dude who asked to marry me, he called the boy his witness. I'm like, what the hell is a witness? What are you doing? What are you talking about? A witness of what? And that was when he came out with the whole marry me thing and have his kid thing. So I remembered when he told me that the enemy was going to try to use love against me, right? So he kept saying he loved me so much, and he's loved me all his life, even before I knew him, and like all of this stuff. I'm just like, okay, yeah, it's time to go. I'm walking him to the door like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I told him that was not going to happen. I'm not doing none of that. And, he was trying to stand by the door and kept telling me he loved me, and all this shit. And then he was like, well, can you just come outside and talk to me for a minute? So I come outside and talk to him for a minute. And after a while, I'm looking around like, because it got real quiet. Like, I'm just out there standing there. He out there standing there. His boy out there standing there. And nobody saying nothing. So I'm like, well, I think I'm going to go ahead back inside. Thanks for coming by. Nice seeing you. And I left. After that, he called me the next day. And he wanted to have an argument with me about it. And it really, like, I don't know about y'all, but it really, really disturbs my energy when people try to force me to do things that I don't want to do. Like, maybe because, I'm not going to bring that up, but because when I was a child, people forced me to do things I didn't want to do or tried to. And it just brings me back to that energy where it feels like someone's trying to control me and my decisions, and I don't like that. So I started crying. I'm like, yo, I don't know what you got going on, but this is really too much. Like, and then he started to calm down, trying to say he's sorry for talking to me like that. Da, 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 da. I'm like, nah, I don't want to hear from you ever again. Don't talk to me. I'm good. Hung up the phone. Now, fast forward to 2 years ago, like I was trying to tell y'all, the dude that I had been talking to from 2013 all the way to 2020, I had asked God about it. And I'm like, I know in between time I've been asking God to like keep him away from me for various reasons. Like, just keep him away from me, because I don't know what the hell is wrong with this man. For some reason, like, he always end up doing something, and then he turns it around like it's me, when it really was not me. It was him doing shit. And it's like, all right, like, for example, like, we'll be good. He'll be, come into the house after I get home from work, whatever. I moved and I was like really close to where he lived at. Because when I met him, I was in Newark, and he would travel from Trenton to Newark when he got off of work. And then because of domestic violence, I decided to move to South Jersey. And then I found an apartment in Trenton. And then, he used to come over there when I used to get off of work and shit. So one day, I heard like these kicking on the door, banging on my door. So I go look. It was late as hell at night. I go look in the peephole, and I see two females kicking on my door. Now, at the time, I'm like, I heard God, he like, don't answer that door. just look and see who they are so you can know, like, you know, what they look like, because you just moved here. You don't know nobody here, so they obviously know you. And the way they was talking about, oh, bitch, we gonna fuck up your truck. You're not going nowhere. So you might as well open this door, like doing all that. So the next day, I called him and I'm like, what the fuck you got going on? Because it was two bitches at my door, one big fat ass bitch, and then another one with a blonde wig, like a blind bob. And I'm like, they was at my door, kicking my door. And I don't know nobody here. So I know it's got something to do with you. So he like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't talk to nobody but you, da-da-da. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. Keep talking that shit. We'll see. So the next day I went to work. When I got home from work, it was a girl. No, it was two girls. Not now. Okay. It was two girls standing on the side of my house where the gate was at. I live by the corner store, so it used to be a bunch of people like over there on that side of the gate. And the little drug dealers, they used to sit on my porch because that house was abandoned for a long time. So that was where they used to chill at. So I would most likely have to ask people to get off of my porch when I got home. But because he was around, they wasn't there no more. If somebody was on my porch, it was his friends or it was him. So that day, nobody was on my porch, but it was two girls standing against the gate. And so when I parked my car, I seen them. It was the day after that happened. So I was already like ready. You feel me? So I get out the car and I walk over to my porch and I see the bitches staring me down like, so I'm staring their ass down like, what is good? Got my hand in my pocket like, I promise you, bitch. I opened the gate for my kids. I said, go inside. I stare at these bitches like, you bitches try me. You're going to fucking, both of you bitches going to be cut the fuck up or you're going to get tased out this bitch because I got both in each hand. So, they didn't say shit. They just stared at me. So I went and called him again. I was like, see, you keep saying that this don't got nothing to do with you, but I could tell from these bitches standing outside my house after I got home from work that they is here because of you. Because don't know what the hell what they staring at me for. Why they standing outside my house staring at me? It's got to be something you got going on. You must be fucking with one of these bitches or something. And so he was like, nah, but I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm like, all right. So the next day, I go to work and come back. They not there, but he's sitting on my porch. So I'm like, okay, so what happened? He like, oh, I don't know who them bitches was, but I definitely put an end to that shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. Moved on with that. So that's the type of shit that would happen. Like, he would act like he don't know what's going on, but he'll deal with it. Like, which one is it? How you dealing with bitches that you don't know? Don't make sense to me. So, most recently, I found out, well, I had moved from Trenton for a long time ago, like two years ago. I think it was 2018. I moved up from Trenton back to South Jersey. And so where I moved to, he ended up working at a barbershop down the street. So I'm like, wow, ain't that crazy? And, you know, it wasn't like something that I planned. It was just, I had been on the list for that apartment for 9 years because of, like, when you go through domestic violence and you go to the shelters, you got to put applications in for low-income housing so that you could be able to start over and afford the rent. So I had been on that list for 9 years, and they had hit me up. And so it was right when the end of my lease was. And also it was when I found out that my youngest son, he was in kindergarten in a Trenton school, and the security guard was molesting kids there. And he tried to offer my son $5 not to tell me that he tried to pull his pants down. So he ended up getting fired. And I was just like, I'm telling God, like, yo, we gotta move from out of here, because I don't even feel right sending my son back to that school. So that was how I ended up moving. So that was a big blessing. Moved over there, found out that he worked at the barbershop over by my by where I lived at. And during that time I was still trying to figure out, like, you know, I told y'all I was asking God, like, yo, I know I've been asking you, like, to get rid of him, and then he just keep coming back. One day he popped up. Like, we go long breaks without even talking to each other and everything like that. So I'm seeing, like, with this twin flame journey, I'm realizing that he was my divine masculine, but I didn't know nothing about that at the time. It was just like back and forth, and I used to be like, God, just keep him away from me. And then I'd be like, when he pop up and shit, he'd be on some shit like, oh, the universe has spoken, all this shit that I've like, I don't know, like, I don't hear people talk like that. So when he say it, I'd be on some shit like, wow, that's really romantic, you know? He's a real good finesser. So one day at my new apartment, I asked God again. I asked God this time. I said, can you please give me a sign of whether I should keep messing with him or not? Like, is he the one for me or not? And so one day he came over to my house. I think it was after work or something, or in between his day at work, a break at work, or I don't fucking know. I just know it was, I think he spent the night. I think that's what happened. He spent the night that day. And I remember that because his coat and stuff was on the floor on the side of the bed. And when he got up, he dropped something out his coat pocket, but I didn't know he dropped it out his coat pocket, because while he was getting ready, I was getting my kids ready to go to school. So I was getting them ready to go to school. So when he was in the room by himself, and I got them ready, and we all left out basically the same time. And when I got back from taking the kids to school, I went to my room, and I was like straightening up the bed, you know, just picking up shit, you know, doing little tidying up shit. And while I was making the bed, I saw something on the floor. It was a black card, and I picked it up. And when I read that card, it was like, I got lightheaded as hell. Like, what the fuck is this? And that was the sign that God gave me, like, no, you shouldn't be fucking with him, and this is why. So the card had his name on it, like his last name on it, and then it had a list of things that he should do. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like when you're a part of like a AA community, and since it's like private or whatever, your name goes on the card so they know who you are. Like, you basically belong to the organization. And all I remember on there is on the card it said, it basically said that he belonged to an organization for survivors of a deadly disease. And I called him and asked him, I was like, first of all, I thanked God because he answered me. Second of all, I called him and I asked him, like, did you drop something? He's like, what? And I told him, like, it's a card. It's a black card with red letters on it. And I told him what the shit said in the front. And he was like, oh shit. He like, yeah. I was like, all right. And I hung up. Made my appointment. This was like, it was the creepiest shit ever. Like, I was shaking and everything because I was like, did he give me a fucking disease, bro? Did he give me a deadly disease? And I already died and came back, like, you know, I died when I had a C-section with my son, but that was all a part of God's plan because he made me he made me an earth angel. So my plan, my mission was to come back here. This happened in 2012. I was supposed to come back here and do what I'm doing right now, like as far as letting y'all know with spoken word how to uplift yourself and speak highly of yourself and how much God loves us and how to speak to God and how to hear God and how to protect your energy. And this story is to help you guys see that he will tell you if you ask him. You can't just try to go on your own understanding for real. You can't go off of what other people think. You can't talk to your homegirls or homeboys like, yo, what y'all think about this person or none of that. You got to talk to God because he sees all. And when motherfucker, yo, I don't even want to curse. Like, when I saw him after that one day, because I stopped talking to him. And I seen him one day. I was going to the train. I had to go to Trenton. And I seen him at the train station. Honestly, it took everything out of me. He saw the way I was looking at him. He like, yo, why are you looking at me like that? And this was after I had already made my appointment, but I was waiting to go because it was like I saw him like the day after I made the appointment. And so I was like just waiting. And I was so mad. Like, I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, I really want to just kick you into these train tracks for real. I'm not lying, y'all. That's how I was thinking that too. Like, I was like, yo, I used to say when I was younger, like, because I know my aunt, she got a disease from the person she was dating, and then he ended up proposing to her, and then she found out that she had this disease or whatever. And I was like, when I was younger, I used to be like, you know what? If somebody ever did that shit to me, I will fucking kill them and go to jail. Like, no, nigga, you got me fucked up. But now that I'm older, I was like, don't do that shit, son. Like, you don't even know if you got that shit, but the thought of him trying to give it to you is what really, really, really pisses me off, because you sit here and you smile in my face every fucking time, like all the time. All the time. You sitting in my face, smiling in my face, chilling, talking to me. We drinking beers, we chit-chatting, we all hugged up, talking about all types of shit. Like, you wasn't even a barber before when I first started talking to you. You was in the warehouse. So I thought that we was like kind of growing together, because I used to do hair out of my house. And he used to come over and see me doing hair out the house. He used to compliment me on that too and stuff like that. And then he ended up going to become a barber. So I'm like, oh wow, we could one day open up our own shit together. Like, you know, I had all these fucking ideas and plans in mind, thinking we growing. And this person was literally behind my back trying to off me. And I did not know it, right in front of my face. And he did not get that off, because God protected me from that too. And that is why I'm telling y'all this story, because it is a testimony to how God protects his children. People with bad intentions, they will be taken up out of here with the quickness. And I'm telling you now. And I held on to this secret of his for a long time. I didn't tell nobody shit. I still got the card with his name on it. I kept that to remind me to never trust a motherfucker again. No, don't trust niggas with your life. No. And luckily, I was fucking always strapped up with his ass. Luckily, when he asked me to have a kid by him, I told him no. Luckily. Because I would not be able to be here for my two sons like I told God I wanted to be. Because God showed me what my kid's life was going to be like without me here. When I die having my second son. And I saw the people and them, the same family members that ain't no good for me, they wasn't going to be no good for them. They was going to separate my boys and they was going to destroy their fucking lives. They was not going to nurture their souls. They was not going to teach them how to connect with God and stay in tune with their higher self. And they wasn't going to teach them to trust their intuition. They wasn't going to teach them that their dreams are real messages from God. They wasn't going to do none of that. So that's why I'm back here to do that for my kids. And the only reason why I'm speaking up on what's going on as far as this dude and what this shit he tried to do is because I know now that is a lot of people out here that he is doing that to. With these threesomes, his baby mother too. His baby mother is out here giving that shit to different niggas. And then they come back together because they know what they doing to people. So they confide in each other. They will never leave each other. His baby mom is his karmic. She gave it to him. But now, or whoever the fuck he got it from, I don't know. But now they just out here giving it to mad people. He giving it to females and she giving it to niggas. And then they just come home to their son every day, you know, and back around their family and shit, like everything cool. And that's fucked up. And I know that there's other females out here that's going through that shit. Y'all, do not have sex with these people raw. If anything, ask God if this is the person you're supposed to be mating with in order to bring a divine child into this world. Because sex is not for pleasure. Yes, it's pleasurable, but sex is to bring forth the children that are supposed to be here to change the world. Bring it into a higher vibration. These people that's out here just having sex with anybody and everybody, they're doing the wrong thing, basically. And basically they using sex as a weapon. They are silent assassins. Yeah. They are walking diseases. And like I said, he was really good with his words. So he's charming. She probably out here charming niggas too. It's really sad that people do this to people. Like, if you, like, I just want to put it like this because I know I'm not a promiscuous person. With my son's father, I was with him for 8 years. I did not fuck nobody else. I did not cheat on him. None of that. And with this nigga that I thought we was building, supposed to be a divine masculine, but he was a distorted masculine. He and I was together on and off since 2013. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically, to me, I know and God knows that it's a difference between me and him. He out here having sex with all of these people and he caught a disease. I'm out here being faithful to somebody that's cheating behind my back and passing diseases to people. That is very disturbing, because you would think that you would attract somebody who was like you, faithful, loyal, honest. I had no bad intentions for him. When my ex-friend hooked me up with him, she told me he was heartbroken from somebody that he used to date in high school because the girl cheated on him. Why it turned out that that's the same person he ended up leaving me for. As a matter of fact, I told her, I said, well, he don't got to worry about that with me because I'm not going to hurt him. So we started kicking it. He ended up, I think it was 2017, he ended up having a baby with her. So he cheated on me and had a baby with her. That's when I was like, yeah, keep this nigga away from me, God, please. I don't know what's going on with him. You know, that's when I started praying like that. Like, please just keep him away from me, because I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't know that girl from a can of paint. Like, I do not like how people will go out and have sex with somebody unprotected, but then come and have sex with you. Even if you wearing a condom, it's still fucked up. It's nasty. It's really fucking nasty. And it's fake. And it's sneaky. And it's deceptive. And he told me, oh, that was just a one night stand. And she ended up pregnant. All right, whatever. You know? He never admit to things that he did wrong. It was always a lie and a cover up. But this right here, he cannot deny, because I got the proof that he does have a deadly disease. And I know he passing it to mad people, because I've been talking to people who know him from high school. And it's weird because I had moved to this neighborhood and I got cool with one of the parents from the school. And she ended up telling me one day when I was at the laundromat next door to the, she asked me to take her to that laundromat. And I took her and she saw him. And she was like, oh, hey, what's up? She said his name or whatever. I'm like, how you know him? And so she was like, oh, we went to high school together. She like, you know him? I'm like, used to. You feel me? So she was telling me how he was having sex with the other girls that worked at the barbershop. And she showed me a picture of the girl and all of this. And I'm like, wow, like, he really out here. And I don't know if these other females get themselves checked, like, but if they don't, they passing it to niggas too. It's getting bad, man. I was telling my kids, I said, yo, I don't even know if y'all gonna be able to even have children at the rate that these people is moving, because your kids could be born, like if you got a disease, I know they got some things that they could do to prevent their child from having that disease, but the one that he got, the baby could die in the womb, or it could be born with that disease. And that's really messed up, to bring a child into this world and give them your karma. That child did not deserve that. I know I'm going on for a long time, but I had to get this message out. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I'm not name dropping, but they know who they are, because I know he be watching my videos. And I know it's other people from the barbershop that watch my videos too. And I know it's other people from Trenton that know that I was talking to him at one point in time. So I know they know who I'm talking about. And he need to really stop what he doing. The other night I had a dream that, like, soon as you know how you go to sleep and then the dream starts. When the dream started, I was walking in this house. I've never been in this house before. And I seen a guy laying across the bed, like at the corner of the bed, but his body was like in the middle of the bed. His legs was hanging off the bed. And I walked over to him and I saw that he had a cup in his hand. It was red, like some red liquid in it. And it was blood. And I knew it was blood because in his mouth, he had blood dripping from his mouth side to side, going backwards. And his eyes was closed. And then as I got closer to him, He opened his eyes and his eyes was pitch black. It was him. And I was like, wow, what the fuck? And I woke up. I'm like, what is going on? He drinking blood? And God was like, he's taking souls with him. He's an energy vampire. He is that shapeshifter. He is, and not in a good way. Like, it's like, you know, you could shapeshift because you have different gifts and things like that. You could play different roles in this world, and it's all for the highest good of all. But he's fooling a lot of people, and he gets drunk off of it. He gets a high from doing this to people. And then the next time I had a dream about the same person in that same vampire energy with the blood dripping from his mouth. And he tried to like run up on me, but it was kind of like he was like a zombie. You know how zombies in the movies, they be moving mad fast, like the speed was different. He was like that. And then out of nowhere, an angel came from behind me and like start pounding on him. And he was gone, and I woke up. So I know that he knows energetically and spiritually that I am making this video, and I was thinking about making this video, and that I still have the proof that this is what he got going on. I'm gonna respect God's wishes and not say this man's name, but he did tell me to put out this video as a testimony and as a warning to him to stop, and also to help other divine feminines and divine masculines see what's going on out here, because it's women and men out here passing diseases because they got it from somebody. But they got it because they promiscuous. And you get it if you don't pray to God and find out what is going on with these people, you fuck around and you'll get it too, because you trust the wrong people. We cannot be just giving trust out like that. And like I said, sex is not meant to be abused. Not supposed to just be out here fucking everybody, especially unprotected. Even when you protect yourself with a condom, the energetic attachments is still there. That condom cannot protect you from them energy vampires and demons and karma that person has. So be careful with your body, y'all. I'm gonna end this video there and go ahead and finish my spiritual bath. And thank you, God, for giving me the strength to make this video. I burned some bay leaves and asked for protection for divine feminines, for divine masculines, and for the collective of the world to be healed and protected for things that they did not know they were getting into, for trusting people that they did not know they should not be trusting. And I also pray right now that everybody sits down and talks to God every day and thank him for blessing them and protecting them from things that they did not know was going on around them, and for the things that they did know and could not do nothing about or did not know how to do anything about. And I'm thankful for all of the tarot readers out there that's giving this message to divine feminines to not fuck with these people, these distorted masculines. They're running around here. They have not evolved, and they living in such a dark energy. Is no way you could pull them out. And we are healing. Divine feminines are very healing energies, but some people, you just got to leave it to God. And that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. I've moved on. Okay, and I don't feel like I failed. Usually I feel like I failed because I used to warn him about, like, if these girls is coming after me, you must be fucking with them. I used to tell him, like, I could see the way these girls is moving, they nasty, like, you might want to chill because you're gonna fuck around and end up with something. I used to tell him that all the time. And now look, and I almost shed some tears for him today, but God was like, you gonna cry for somebody who tried to give you something that was gonna kill you and take you from your mission and take you from your boys? And I had to wipe them little tears that was about to drop down. Ain't nothing to cry for. This is the life, the path that man chose. He did not take heed to your warnings. I do not talk for no reason, y'all. I say what I say because God is telling me to tell y'all. And once again, thank you to the tarot readers out there that's doing their thing out here, warning females and masculines about these karmic energies and these distorted divine masculines and whatever. Like, just protect yourself and listen to me when I say sex is for you to bring forth God's divine children so that you and them and that man can heal this earth. Stop just having kids with anybody, because you're going to fuck around and not be able to be here for your kids to raise them. These people moving real different, So just protect yourselves. Ask God for guidance. He'll tell you, he'll answer you. I'm telling you now, ain't no way that man was going to tell me that he had no deadly disease. I asked God, and he made sure that man dropped his card. And it told me everything. I went and got tested, y'all, and I'm good. Just wanted to let y'all know. But that was years ago. I did get tested. Like I said, when I found out, I got tested. And I'm good. God protected me from that. And I just held on to that card the whole time, just as a reminder, never to fuck with him like that again. And when I see him out in public, like one time I seen him when I came back from Georgia, because I have like this, I have a soap, a men's soap that the guy at the barbershop, one of the barbers was using. It's in one of my videos on here too. I came back from Georgia and was like, yo, let me just go get my soaps out there at barbershop because I don't want to ever see this nigga again. I don't want to be around him or nothing. And so I went and got my soaps, and when I walked in there, his eyes got so big, like, it's like he knew I knew, but he was wondering when I was going to say something. And all of this time, I was never going to say nothing, but I decided it is right. It's only right that I give this testimony, because this is the biggest blessing God has ever done for me. Protected me from a deadly disease that somebody was planning on giving to me. If I would have been a fool and go ahead and have a kid with that nigga, I would have been dying, bro. I would have had a baby to die. No, hell no. Off of his fucked up decisions. So thank you again, God. Thank you so much. And to him, you know who you are. You need to just sit down and stop passing that shit to everybody that you come across. It's nobody's fault that you like having sex raw with all of these bitches from the projects. Nobody's fault but yours. I don't know why men think that because they could get pussy, that they are hot shit. Like, they think they're a Mac. They think that makes them a man. What makes you a man is taking care of your vessel. Your responsibility is to your physical self, so that you can live in your truest power here on this earth and fulfill God's mission for you. But you decided that these worldly things was more important than your longevity in God's mission for your life. You forfeited your mission, man. You forfeited your blessings. And I see you trying to spiritually attack me because you know I'm going to say something. Now I'm saying it and I don't care because I'm protected. My angels are going to protect me from you. God is going to protect me from you. And I pray that he protect those other women that didn't know what they was getting into when they was fucking with you.